Could you pick it up for me, please?
Why
I need you to pick it up for me.
It fell closer to you. Why am I?
Can you hold on? Thank you. Could you back up your chair like 1 second? I think your shoes are untied. Maybe like
what are
look.
You trying
can
to
you look
get
down
me
and
to
check?
do?
Can you look down and check, please? No, don't do it that way. Like I need.
What are you doing?
I need you to pick up my pen.
Hey, I got your pen.
You're doing it the wrong. Never mind. Welcome back to Lemonade Stand, everybody.
What are you trying to do?
It's good to be back. This week, there's dire news. Dire news.
That's not what it is.
I heard.
That's not what it is. I'm taking control. You're going crazy. You're
how
going.
do you
You're going
explain
wrong.
how good my portfolio is doing?
Quit throwing stuff at me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Lemonade Stand. Okay, this guy has been squeezed like a tube of toothpaste by his other podcast, The Yard.
We get a desiccated husk of a man.
We get a husk of a man.
They drop him off after school.
They do.
He's wiped
And
and
he's
tired.
wiped
and we
out.
have to say, Aiden,
some
tell us about the
news.
markets.
What's
what
the
do you-
Nordic Fun
What do you
Fact?
think about
And he's just
Korea?
dropping pens and trying to harass me. I think. What are you trying to do?
I'm loaded with paste for you guys.
You've got paste?
I've got paste left.
All right,
Why don't you
well,
just tease the paste we're talking about today?
Go. You got to go bottom up. They
Okay.
squeeze from the middle.
They would. They would squeeze.
They're
from the
lazy.
middle.
They squeeze from the middle.
All right, we'll squeeze you bottom up today.
Let me just crack open a delicious.
Stop with the Red Bull. Guys, we're getting off track. I don't want to bring you in. You know who else is getting squeezed like Aiden is, like a 2-2 is? Investors in this crazy stock market.
Wow.
That's a transition there.
That was good.
Today, you can't, Perry, you got to be on the slides. He's on the camera.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, be honest with me, Aiden.
Because you're saying the investors are getting squeezed.
Yeah.
And I opened the New York Times this morning.
Yep.
And the S&P's at a record high.
We had a record high today.
Which means that everybody at home's probably doing fine.
Yeah, regular
people rejoice.
Sallies.
So how do you explain the thumbnail that presumably shows a big giant red arrow pointing downwards? How do we explain?
That's a great question.
How do we explain that we've somehow framed
I'll
this?
get to that.
Okay.
So today, the U.S. stock market hit record highs. The S&P had all-time highs. And of course, it was due to the greatest reason of all time. A deal to open Hormuz is imminent. Thank God. Finally, we have this piece of news in this podcast. We've never covered this before. It's always been something we've been hoping for.
Trump's the highest quantity of deals of any president I know. Well, deals announced.
And what's awesome is that the market took this and ran with it and reached record highs, even though not but 18 hours before this, Iran had said there absolutely is no talks on Hormuz. And I feel like we've done all this before. So this is not what today's about. Today's not about the S&P 500 or the broader stock market, which again is following the Iran war. But it is about some really weird stuff that has been happening in normally very successful sectors of the stock market until very recently. And that's like AI, tech, Magnificent Seven companies, like memory companies. All of them are seeing what you might call volatility, a lot more wild swings. And that is causing weird things to happen, like people who are normally very rich and successful to get wiped out. Or like we've talked about with Korea, a huge part of the country, 1 in 30 Korean adults to lose their savings in one day. So that's what we're going over. Today, literally today, AMD and SpaceX, two successful companies, both of which reported record-breaking earnings in any time other than recently. Both of these would have been surging. They both plunged after hours on great earnings. It's a weird, people are responding to very AI-exposed companies a little bit differently. Mag 7 stocks in this last month shed $2.2 trillion combined. Some did good, some did bad, but it's a net outflow of Mag 7, which were dominating in the previous year. FT printed the end of the Mag 7 and had this fucking, what is the poem from?
Robert Frost.
No, that's the only poem.
Shel Silverstein.
No, you guys, it's Breaking Bad references it. It's got a big statue. Perry, you got to know it.
Shakespeare?
Breaking Bad, one of the episodes. I'm not going to move on until we figure this out. It's like the gnarled husk of twisted stone, and I wrote my name in the sands for... I'm just going to wait until Perry Googles it. It's not Shel Silverstein. It's not. And it's not Robert Frost. So give me one more poet.
Olivia Plath.
Sylvia Plath.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Olivia.
You said this before. Ozymandias by Percy Bryce Shelley. Ozymandias, okay? That's they did an Ozymandias thing. It's a yes, Shelf Silverstein. They just mistyped it.
You can't trust these AI overviews.
Oracle, okay? By mid to late last year, I don't know if you know, but Oracle CEO, why did I just blank on it?
Robert.
Dude,
Larry
Ellison. My God, I was thinking Robert Frost in my damn head. Larry Ellison was the richest man in the world less than a year ago. And Oracle has been cut in half.
He's been destitute.
And more importantly, as a little bit of a shade of, Big Short type beat, credit default swaps on Oracle, which are basically bets that Oracle will not be able to pay its debts and fail, have hit higher than the great financial crisis. They're surging. So like all this stuff is happening under the surface of what seems like a calm up green market. There's like rampant rotations. And this already happened. We talked about this in the show. Previously, it was like everybody pulling out of the safe big tech companies to go into the memory companies, like the picks and shovels of the race, like the SanDisk and Micron. But now they're pulling out of like this AI stuff, a lot of it all together, and going into things like oil. Oil has hit record profits. Exxon, I think Chevron just had its best quarter in the history of the company. Exxon had like its third best. They're all fucking crushing. And so everybody is rotating into more commodities and things like that. So everything is moving behind the surface, but the overall number is staying the same. And I think it's interesting. And the example I wanted to give is why I thought this was like a story worth talking about is this guy, Leopold Aschenbrenner, who's like this 24-year-old wonderkind, if you haven't heard of him. He wrote a thing called is it Situational Awareness is the name of the blog? The name of his company is Situational Awareness. It's such fun. He wrote a blog about AI, and it basically was like a 150-page blog that said like it's going to change everything. It is absolutely going to reshape the world, and we're going to just bet everything on that being the case sooner rather than later.
Real quick, his thesis is largely he's showing like, okay, if the power of, let's say, these models are growing by an order of magnitude every 2 years, and then the power of like the actual like harnesses around the models are growing by an order of magnitude every 2 years. He looked at core aspects of the kind of overall AI market and said, if the capability of AI models and the underlying infrastructure keeps going up by an order of magnitude every 2 or so years, then I believe that like you just do a long play on AI and you will win. And he's like heavily invested in Anthropic, and also his wife works there.
Yeah, so he's like 22 or 23 at the time he writes this. He actually, his background is he was at FTX with Sam Bankman-Fried.
Oh.
He was like an intern there or something, and he got out before everything collapsed. But so this guy, he writes this piece, and everyone's like, oh, you know what? Maybe you're right. You know more about AI than me. Let's give you some money. So a lot of well-capitalized people give this 23-year-old kid a ton of money. He has no financial experience. His background is all in, research or AI. And he goes, okay, I'm going to make the craziest leveraged, debt-fueled long bets on AI. He just bets on it. He bets on memory. He bets on the AI companies. And he borrows money to do it. He takes their money and borrows money. And for a while, he has one of the greatest returns in Wall Street history. He literally is up 1,000%. He's beating all these established Wall Street titans. And people are like, oh, I got to get on this. They keep throwing their money at him. And instead of taking any of it off the table, he just borrows more money and does it again. He just keeps tripling down. So recently, even though most of these stocks are up from when he bought them, there was a down day in a lot of these companies. Specifically, I'm pulling up SanDisk. This is a memory company that he invested a lot in. Now you look, he probably bought SanDisk like down here originally, but he kept buying it and kept borrowing to buy it all the way up into here. So this down period essentially wiped him out. So his bank started margin calling him and saying, hey, you have to put up more fresh cash or we're going to sell all your stocks. And he's like, well, I don't have any fresh cash right now. He called around. Little fun story. You know the podcaster Dwarkesh Patel.
Yes, not personally.
You personally know him and you're best friends with him.
Yeah.
Turns out Dwarkesh Patel is his roommate.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything untoward here, but the timeline is very weird because right as behind the scenes, this guy is about to get wiped out and is getting like calls from his banks. Dwarkesh Patel writes this blog that is like extremely like AI is about to 1,000x. You need to invest right now to try and like, basically Leopold's like, if I have one more down day, the banks are going to take everything. And then right then his partner or his roommate, who is a very notable and influential tech guy, writes a very positive thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird timing. Either way, there was another down day and he did get wiped out. He had to sell to the guy from the whole GameStop saga, Ken Griffin.
Yeah, to Citadel.
Yeah.
So, wait, actually, real quick.
Yeah.
Brandon, could you explain why the fact that he's massively leveraged and also like a third of all Koreans, why does that ruin them? Because if you look at the graph, like a normal person would go, okay, well, it's still, the amount of money is still way up from a year ago. He should be fine, right?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Because this is what's underpinning everybody going bankrupt, right? It's like this, the numbers are all still up from where they were, but the problem is everybody was leveraged. So what does that do, Brendan?
Well, I do want to say this, but I did just do this on my clip, so I'll just do
actually let's squeeze some toothpaste. Aiden, why does
Yeah,
that?
why does that?
People?
You're coming to this empty bucket of toothpaste.
Tubin, you've got paste in there, man. Give us some paste.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Can you show this? Here, Aiden, I'll just draw it and you explain it. Okay.
Okay. No, I like this. I like this.
This is good. Okay.
Okay.
Aiden, what do we look at this?
So, if I have taken on debt to invest in something, I see the upside of that on the way up. Like I could borrow $1 million and then that $1 million grows. I see all the upside of the profit. But if I keep putting in borrowed money in again on the way up and that erases my returns, then I still owe the underlying loan, even though I've just lost the gains that I made on the way up. I'm not explaining this well.
I mean, I think he's right, but
that's right. It's unrelated to the picture, but that's right.
Can I be?
He's
Can
just
I be?
answering the question and not looking at the picture.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
The picture didn't help me. So
like, if you bought $10,000 of stock, right, and you put in $5,000 of your own money and $5,000 of the bank's money, if the stock happens to drop from $10,000 to $6,000, you know, some people, if you're not in finance, you might think, well, okay, now I have $3,000 and I owe the bank $3,000. But that's of course not how it works. You still owe the bank $5,000. So now your equity is down to, you know, a little. All the losses come out of your side of the thing because you still owe them money. And what's most important is if this green part ever dropped under the red part, the bank would be worried you couldn't pay them back. So when it gets even close, they do what's called a margin call, and they call you up and they say, hey, if you don't put more fresh cash in here to top this up, we're going to sell everything you own to make sure we can pay back the red.
They say, Aiden, it looks like you're all out of pace. We're worried you're going to run out.
Yes.
You need to put a little bit of your own. You need to put more of your own paste in order to prove to us that this is going to be fine.
Because we're afraid. We can't squeeze any more out of what you got. Yes. That's exactly right.
Banks are not willing to risk an empty toothpaste tube.
Yes. They do not want an empty toothpaste.
They're very risk avoidance.
Dare I say, you guys margin called me today.
Yeah, we did.
and I insisted that I had the paste to back it up.
And we haven't been proven whether or not you do. So this happened to him on billions of dollars of stock. And I want to say, you know, there's this number going around that, hey, he's still up 80%. That's what he's been saying.
Yes. His quotes are, his fund is down 67% on the month. He had to sell the vast majority of it to Ken Griffin from Citadel, but he's still up 80% on the year. He's not fully liquidated. He's not going to shut down his fund, and he's going to keep going. I take full responsibility. He also got married this weekend while this was going on.
He got married while it was going on, which is crazy. He's getting calls from like every major bank.
Me at the altar, just looking at my wife, like read the vows and then doing a little.
Yeah, I think
doing a little check.
Literally during the vows, he would have lost like $30 million during that. Like,
in that
30 seconds,
billions a day. So I'm surprised he was able to keep his cool during that.
You would have been a wreck at the altar.
Yes, of course. If I lost billions of dollars and was getting called from every major bank.
We got to cut that.
Can you show this really quick? Can you show this really quick? So 70% of his fund was in a bunch of stocks that he picked. This is what stocks look like.
Oh, okay.
And 25% was he made an investment in Claude, Anthropic, okay? So when he got margin called and they sold everything and wiped him out and Ken Griffin laughed at him and took all his money, they lost everything. He just kept this. And so when you blend that all together, you say you're up 80% because Anthropic's really up. But just to be clear, all his stocks are gone. Every stock they invested in got margin called and wiped out. So he's running his fund. There's nothing left but a piece of Anthropic that he owns.
Yeah. The margin call system, I didn't know much about it before this whole saga either. And just the idea of like, if you have borrowed all this money and then your thing goes down, it's exactly what you said. You just have to go down by like a certain percentage before the banks go, we are taking everything. It's like, it's so susceptible to a downturn. And it's crazy that a guy like this is up however many hundreds of billions of dollars. And then like, you know what? I'll 4x leverage.
That's the crazy part. And I guess that's the power or arrogance of youth and inexperience, maybe, because, you know, all the Wall Street pros were even the riskiest ones were like, this guy's crazy. You know, but you're up 1,000%. You don't take any off the table. It's crazy.
So why is this guy important right now? Like, where does this come around to?
Yeah, he is a emblematic of what's going on with the markets getting the number is volatility. The swinginess is getting greater and greater. Things are moving. Like every day you'll hear like record-breaking loss, record-breaking gain, and you end up kind of in the same spot, but the swings are getting so much wilder. And so everybody who is using debt in these instances is more and more likely to get wiped out. And that's why it's interesting right now. We're not seeing a crash yet, but we're just seeing people who are on the edge of debt are getting wiped out.
So people who have kind of taken the AI bull run and been willing to leverage themselves to insane degrees are getting punished by the fluctuations in these stocks.
Well, what's crazy,
even though the number ends up being the same, just the fluctuation is enough to wipe people out, which is an unintuitive thing.
But what's crazy is you say people who are like, I'm all in on the future, I'm borrowing and betting everything, they're getting wiped out for sure. But also people who are like, this shit's over, it's all gonna crash, I'm betting everything on the crash, they're getting wiped out because after a huge down day, they're having insanely huge up days. People are borrowing money to bet on both outcomes, and all of them are getting shaken out. So it's like, it's just a really weird time. It's a very weird time in the market. It's very hard to be an invest, like as a, you know, we sit back in S&P 500, it's kind of fine. But everybody who's a professional investor is like saying we can't trade this right now. We don't know what the fuck's going on. It's just too wild. No matter what you pick, it's swinging.
So those headlines that you showed, it talked about the Magnificent Seven in particular, which pretty much all have significant connections to the development of AI.
Yeah.
Maybe minus Tesla for one, but they're already kind of a weird stock in that they're
kind of.
And then I was going to say Apple because they aren't developing their own proprietary AI. They're sort of insulated from this in a way that these other stocks are not, because my understanding is they have become the number one company by market cap again. Like they've returned to the throne because they're insulated from a lot of this scrutiny that comes with.
That's a perfect example of what we're going through, which is like the it's so over, we're so back market, because everything you're saying is true from like a week ago. Apple was number one. Now it's NVIDIA again. And Apple's actually down quite a bit. It's like there's this big war going on between AI is incredible and amazing and sure can make billions. And it's like, oh, fuck, there's not making any money. That's what's happening. And like every week you'll see huge swings in these companies. The Mag 7 on the whole is down, but it's really diverged. Meta is getting fucking crushed. Everyone's like, you're spending a gazillion dollars and you don't have anything to show for it. Google's getting kind of crushed. They're spending a gazillion dollars. They don't have any free cash flow anymore. But like Apple doing pretty well. Amazon's up. NVIDIA's up. So it's like, it's just diverging. It's just a weird time. And then Tesla, of course, is way down. Worst week since 2022 because people are like, you're spending a ton of money on robotaxis and AI and nobody even thinks of you as an AI company. It's not even
it's funny
Elon Musk's important AI company. It's not
Elon
even
Musk's other company is supposed to be the AI company.
Yeah. So why is Tesla spending so much on AI as everyone's asking? And I just think there's finally some punishments for these companies for being like AI, $300 billion we're spending on it. People are asking what's coming from that. And so there is somebody being punished for that.
You know what? This is a small tangent, but you know, another company at the top of this like market cap rankings is always Saudi Aramco. And the esports World Cup has been going on. And I think me and Slime used to joke a lot about like, we'd be working at Beyond the Summit. We'd be like, what if one of these was sponsored by Saudi Aramco one day? And then we have to do like Aramco reads during like a Super Smash Brothers tournament. During the esports World Cup this year, the idea of the tournament is that similar to like the Constructors Championship in F1, there's like an overall team score alongside people winning in individual esports events at the overall event. And every time they do an update of like the rankings or leaderboard on broadcast, they call it the Aramco Power Rankings. and I was like, here we are. We've come full circle. Like the joke that we used to make to each other in our office has become a reality. The Saudi National Oil Company is doing esports ad reads.
Wait, that's a good transition because I think, at least on my stream, you go back 2 years, we would make a lot of jokes about gambling and prediction markets and that. And it feels like all of them have just become true and normal facts of life. And it's gotten bigger than we thought. And you had a story about prediction markets that's...
Yes, part of markets, really, the same subject. Just kind of a little interesting thing, which is that you're starting to see a lot of pushback on some of these prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket and Robinhood. So a notable, interesting story, I thought, Minnesota, the state, outright banned prediction markets in May. And so they just full on said no. There's actually a bunch of states in the US that are trying to push back against specific aspects of the prediction markets and saying like, hey, you're basically sports betting here. We want to stop that. Minnesota's the first one that just said full on, like, we're done. And
you know what that means though? Like if I'm in Minnesota and it's on my phone and I'm betting on whether or not Aiden says the word Smash Bros in this episode or something, it would be
illegal for the company to operate in that state.
Okay, but they don't, right? They just like do it. It's like, online kind of breaks everything.
Kind of, but I mean, you can still see where people are, and then they have provisions about VPNs. So, I'm sure you couldn't fully enforce it, but still, to the average person, you're saying, hey, it is a felony now or not felony, but it's against the law to do this. And then the prediction markets and the Federal Trading Commission sued Minnesota. And this week, last week, the federal judge blocked the ruling with an injunction and said, no, you have to allow gambling.
Wait, really?
Yes. So, so at first I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? You're forcing them to gamble? What are you talking about? You have to gamble. How dare you, Tim Waltz?
Have you ever read the Bill of Rights? People overlook one of the amendments oftentimes. You
have to rip a parlay.
Yeah.
George Washington was big on that.
The 9th Amendment. If it doesn't say that, tell me what it says right now. The 9th Amendment.
There will be a man entering his 25th year of the NBA. The people have to gamble on it.
They have to bet on it. The World Cup just happened, bro. You're not going to not gamble?
All right, so here's why. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which is a federal agency, has said that event contracts users can trade on prediction markets fall exclusively under the agency's jurisdiction. As in, the CFTC, which is a federal agency, says that they have the exclusive right to regulate swaps and these certain types of betting contracts. So because of that, the judge in this case, as well as the federal government, are saying, you, a United States state, do not have the jurisdiction.
So if every single voter in Minnesota said, we do not want gambling to be allowed here, they would not be able to stop it.
Correct. Because it is a federal ruling.
That's crazy.
And because, according to the judge, there's several contracts on Kalshi and Polymarket that fit this definition of a swap.
Yeah.
They're not regulated by the state. And she did say, I mean, this is a Democratic judge who's like appointed by Biden, I'm pretty sure. And she said like, maybe
Sleepy Joe?
Right, who was asleep at the wheel, clearly.
Asleep at the wheel on this one.
Couldn't have made a good pick.
Couldn't have made a good pick.
And she said maybe she'll narrow it to be like, we'll ban certain parts of the markets, but not the others. But ultimately, this is going through a bunch of court cases now. So Kalshi said, today's decision makes it clear. States cannot ban things that they don't have jurisdiction over. Meanwhile, Minnesota Attorney General said prediction markets are gambling, plain and simple. And Minnesota has every right to keep predatory gambling out of our communities. So this is wild. So there's a bunch of states that are now trying to do this and push back against that. There's 14 states, according to Reuters, which are pushing back against this, right? And again, they're more going for specific angles. But the CFTC, the Federal Agency for Trading, is countersuing them to make sure that the gambling...
Our government is suing
Our government is gambling.
To make sure that the gambling...
Okay, there must be a connection, right?
So...
it is under the executive branch.
I know, but just knowing with this administration, there's probably
So it's Donald Trump. I think it's Donald Trump Jr. is on the board of Polymarket or Kalshi, and or he's one of their advisors. Excuse me. And this has already fallen under scrutiny. It's like, why do you need the president's son to be like one of your advisors at the company? There's this really funny interview of the owners of, again, can't remember if it's Kalshi or Polymarket, where it's both.
I think he's an investor in one and a board member on the other.
Okay. And I can't remember which company is getting interviewed, but their answer is the interviewer is like, so why is the president's son like one of your advisors? What sort of advice is he giving you?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we have a lot of advisors. They give us a lot of different perspectives. And she's like, well, this isn't any advisor. This is the president's son. And they're like, again, we have a lot of advisors. And they just repeat that talking point like 4 times. I think what is also interesting here is there's an effort. This is kind of the crypto era president, right? For his term, there's a lot of like ties to cryptocurrency, either like Trump or his sons or people adjacent to them making money through cryptocurrency that we've talked about on the show. And there is a push right now to remove the responsibility of regulation of cryptocurrency by the SEC and hand it over to the CFTC, because the CFTC has basically less, is expected to scrutinize crypto less than the SEC does now.
I mean, clearly they're not.
This kind of seems connected in that here are these massive gambling companies that the president's children have connections
Swaps
to.
companies.
So, excuse me, swaps companies.
Wait, I got a direct quote from the head of the CFTC, Michael Seelig, who was set up for this job by Trump in December of last year. These are not casinos. They're not sports books. They're markets. And the bottom line is we're going to defend our authority in court. So yeah, I guess
Here we
that's
go.
right. So, okay.
Let's go.
Great. I do see the connections that we're talking about.
Well, before we broaden out to other prediction market news, 3 fun facts. One, France, they blocked Polymarket completely in July. So that's a battle going on now. Spain blocked Polymarket and Kalshi in May, and that's estimated to go for multiple months while they do an investigation.
France block it before or after France lost the World Cup? Because
this is July, and so you know what? I don't know.
No, we need the date, wouldn't we?
Because it would be so funny if they did it right after, because a bunch of French people lost a ton of money gambling on France.
Yeah, you know what?
I heard the World Cup was the biggest revenues those prediction markets have ever had.
Yeah. And then the third fun thing, in Wisconsin, our favorite state, there's actually a statute from 1849 that says you can't vote in any election in which a person, quote, has been made or become interested directly or indirectly in any bet or wager depending on the result. So Wisconsin has come out recently and clarified, if you bet on any prediction market on the outcome of a political campaign and you then go vote, that's a felony and your ballot is thrown out and it's election fraud. So now there's going to be an increasing movement that if you do go gamble on political events, you can't vote, which is like, obviously, I don't know. I was going to say, obviously, I haven't thought about it for more than 10 seconds, but like, it's fucking bizarre.
That is bizarre. Because they did not intend that when they wrote the law for what we're in currently.
They were clairvoyant back then.
I mean, it was
but
bribes.
also, it's like not good to have anybody betting on political outcomes. But really, it's you can't run. It should be you can't run and bet on it, not you can't. Like if I bet on Trump Biden and then I vote for my local Wisconsin state senator, it shouldn't be like.
I don't know. I'm trying to equivocate it to like sports or something.
I think that it's one of those things where maybe there's just no reason it needs to happen. Do you know what I mean? like maybe we could craft the scenario where it's acceptable, but it's like, I'd rather just be safe with this one. It's like monetary incentives should not be tied to voting. Like,
and there are monetary incentives because I'm gonna do my transition.
Well, I mean, I guess there's broad monetary incentives tied to voting in that depending on who you vote for. There's financial and economic outcomes. Support
for this show comes from Leesa.
Sleep is incredibly important. All right. It's the backbone of everything that I do. And sometimes I've found a little bit of data for you guys. If I don't sleep for 72 hours, I don't podcast as well.
You ran an experiment to find that out?
Almost every week for the past year and a half.
Well, you stay awake for 3 days straight before the podcast?
Every time you record, you stay awake for 3 days straight before we record.
All I have in my bedroom is a pile of needles.
Right.
Okay. Well, what if you tried a mattress? I don't mean to,
I just don't know a good brand. I don't know a good one.
Okay.
Aiden.
Well, I just got got a Leesa mattress, actually.
Yeah.
And I'll be real with you. Yeah. I think anything would be a step up from a pile of needles.
But I need to know which brand I should go for.
But Leesa, beautifully crafted. I think you'll feel the difference right away. I did. Admittedly, first night didn't go super great. Not because of the mattress. I just got cats
Oh, yeah, you
getting peed on it. So I had to wash them. I washed the mattress.
But it was washable.
And then it was washable. We washed the pee out. And you clean it with like an enzyme cleaner, get the pee smell, and the cat doesn't pee on it again. And then I started using it. Amazing mattress. It's been great so far.
And did the cats like it?
And the cats like it to sleep on. They stop peeing on it.
Hey!
Well, there you go. So you can go to Leesa.com for 25% off select mattresses, plus get an extra $50 off with promo code LEMONADE, not P, exclusive for my listeners. That's LEESA.com, promo code LEMONADE for 25% off select mattresses, plus an extra $50 off when you use our code. You're also supporting our show. Leesa.com, promo code LEMONADE.
It's really comfy. I've got to be honest. I think, but again, I want to stress. I don't know why.
Have you tried my system though?
No,
let's not jump to conclusions.
Yeah, you have to judge a book after trying it. But as I was saying, Robinhood. You guys know Robinhood. You love Robinhood. Maybe you've traded on Robinhood.
We love it.
Robinhood got into prediction markets not but 2 years ago, and as of today, they now make more money from that than from stock trades, which is what the whole company was founded on. It has eclipsed both stock and crypto revenue for the first time. They are basically a prediction markets company. And of the prediction markets, it's pretty much all sports betting. So Robinhood has seamlessly transitioned from being a stock investing app for your phone to being a sports betting company.
I think Wisconsin should go further. If you trade on Polymarket, you shouldn't be allowed to work at a company.
Okay. You know what? For a lot of young men, that would be a plus. That's a win-win. They already want to opt out of work because it's like a bad, you know.
I mean, you buy NVIDIA, you're banned from a job.
I can't job search, Mom. I gotta be a
too
trader.
Biased. I might do my job differently for the outcome of my bet.
If I knew.
Maybe this is time to make our big announcement.
What's that?
Podcast. I think we've been thinking about winding it down.
Yep.
And if you head on over to lemonade.stand, you can start betting on pretty much anything.
Oh yeah. We're going all in on prediction markets here on the show.
I said we wouldn't take a prediction market sponsor. I'm telling the truth. We just simply
just
turned our brand into one.
And we're going to bet on the results of other podcasters. We're going to bet on, and you've got some inside info on the yard, so it's going to be good. We're going to bet a lot on whether or not slime farts. But I saw this number and it kind of shocked me while I was researching about this Robinhood thing. Actually, wait, I have one more thing. There's a quote from the information that was talking about this. This is Dan Dolev, who's an equity research analyst. He said, the people on Robinhood love gambling, and the prediction market is right up their alley. It's the perfect replacement for crypto because it produces a faster reward system in your brain. You don't have to wait. So this is a guy who has no soul. Just commenting on the true raw reality of it, which is that people play Robinhood for a dopamine rush related to money. And they've evolved a better one, which is just gambling. Straight up sports gambling is better than crypto, which is better than betting on GameStop, which is the evolution. It's just funny that everything can, like, it's like every social media company eventually ends up being short form video that you scroll.
Yeah.
Every single other financial company ends up being sports gambling.
What was the Chutter app? Like Chutter used to be like a TV network of sorts.
Oh my God. That can't be how you say it.
Are you saying cheddar?
You're saying cheddar, like the cheese.
Cheddar.
You said chutter, like a chud.
Yeah. That
Chutter sounds like grinder, but for like conservatives.
Yeah.
I guess no difference, huh?
Cheddar.
You're saying chudder.
Chud.
You're saying chudder, like a cow's
CHUD.
chudder.
Yeah, like a cow's chudder. Like if a cow ate so much cheese, it came out of its udders. That's a chudder.
you're borrowing so much of my time right now.
Cheddar, yeah, cheddar.
Cheddar.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. No, that was natural. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
natural. That was seamless. What happened with cheddar?
TV network of sorts pivoted into some weird TikTok / sports gambling app. Like it was supposed to be both.
It's so beast to do both.
Please pull this up. Please pull this up. I actually think this is worth showing. Okay, so I think this is the same company as that TV network. The only reason they are spelt differently. This is spelt CHEDDR, no vowel at the end of it. And but it's the same logo. So I always assumed it was the same brand. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But this got announced like last year. I don't know if the platform actually launched successfully, but I remember seeing the trailer and it was basically, here is a
You can play
short
it for free with cheddar coins.
Cheddar coins.
Yeah, this is just cheddar coins.
The future of sports gaming is here.
and you could watch like short form video about sports while live sports betting on things. And I was just like, you know that I've seen this sketch where it was like getting caught jerking off in 2050 or something. And it was like the guy, like his parent like opens his door and the kid's like in a rig that takes him like fucking like 2 minutes to get out of. Like he's in a like walking machine VR headset. Like, and I feel like has Goonie not gone too far?
Yeah.
Like
the whole combination of dopamine chasing has gotten absurd.
We're very far from did they get the ball in the hoop?
a human being in the year 1500 went an entire lifetime without feeling the dopamine.
Yeah,
that
you
was
get in 5 minutes on cheddar. So anyway, it turns out that delivering this rush of dopamine is a good business, whether or not it's good for society. Because Polymarket and Kalshi alone, this time last year, combined for about $5 billion worth of trades. This time today, it's over $25 billion. So it's literally just this unbroken. Once this was released into the population, it has just doubled every few months. It's crazy. People fucking love this. And the backlash, obviously you talked about the state's backlash, but people are also seeing rampant increase in Gamblers Anonymous from younger members, rampant increase in, I don't know, I don't want to get too dark with it, but like suicides from financial law. Like, all this stuff is having consequences that are like, it's happening so quick that nobody can absorb it. And certainly even states that try can't seem to actually get anything done. So,
not their jurisdiction.
Yeah, so there's another jurisdiction. So their citizens' lives and finances are their problem.
It feels so sad and rooted in that like financial nihilism that existed right now. And I go back to that idea a lot of before I was doing, before I started the yard and I had like my normal salary for my normal job. I think the pathway of like turning that salary into something like owning a home seemed so far-fetched, even though I had a pretty good job. Like making like $65,000 a year. I was pretty happy with that. Yep. And I was like in my early 20s. That's a fucking awesome job. But the amount of savings I had, it's like the idea of getting a home out of that, especially in the places I lived in, which were like Seattle and Southern California, it felt unapproachable. So in order to, I feel like you get this sense of needing this massive financial breakout in order to make anything significant change in your life, while you're constantly scrolling through videos of people's like luxurious lifestyles and like influencers doing things that you want to be a part of, but you don't have access to. Like it's this terrible environment for you as a young person searching for a job you can't get, maybe applying for sending thousands of applications in on LinkedIn, not getting anything, maybe at best having a job where you can only put a limited amount of savings away. You can't take any of these steps you've been told about your entire life. You spend all day scrolling fucking TikTok and Reels showing people's lifestyles that are unachievable at the salary. So you fucking all in what you have and hope you get a huge payout because you saw some crazy thread on Wall Street Bets or something like that.
Yeah, and then you get FOMO because some people do that and it works. And then they post it on social media and you hear all the stories of like the guy that hit crypto or hit, and then it's like, oh, well, I have to chase that.
I think about that trip. We went on this trip to Italy. The yard did like shortly after COVID restrictions had started lifting.
Yeah.
And one of Cutie's friends came on the trip and he had just earned a bunch of money through that NFT year because he bought like a rock. And the rock, him and his friend poured their savings to split a 20K rock NFT.
Like an image of a rock.
And then it over 10x'd. Like, and then they just sold the rock and then were millionaires. And that was the guy I was on the trip with.
But like we're saying, don't listen to stories like this. No, it's not going to happen to you.
I think this is actually this is a good example of like this.
It's a good example.
Is it
trying to convince them? Wait, I just said people get fooled by those stories. And you're like, yeah, I got a story about a guy who had a great trip to Italy.
No.
He 10x'd a rock and made a lot of money. That was pretty cool.
But
actually.
So he has this dream vacation in Italy. Keep going.
He's hanging out with influencers.
Right, he's hanging out with like these
successful
podcasters.
Hold on.
No, keep going.
I see the issue. He's a 1 in a million guy. And also on top
he's
of that,
nice too.
He's super. Yeah. No, this is
And
amazing.
he's got a smile that knocks your socks off.
and he gives you kind of an air of anybody can do it if they try hard. No, what I was going to say is those people also, they only share the ups.
Yeah.
Even the people who do win big or won big at some point aren't itching to tell you about the follow-up week where they lost most of it on something else. Like nobody is happily sharing that story. So you get this really distorted vision of all of the successes from a limited number of people, most of which haven't even actually found that much success.
Yeah, I mean, especially on Polymarket and Kalshi and these things, just to be real, like their record revenues are because of customer losses. Customers have net lost billions of dollars in aggregate. So on average, if you play the prediction markets, but the problem is, I've said this in my chat, and the first thing they say every time is, I'm different. They say those guys are, I'm not like, they're joking, but I think some of them are not joking. They're like, nah, I'm built different. I have an edge.
Wait, I actually think this pivots well.
Okay.
Because the
Tell
guys who actually are different are the people that are getting headhunted by these like hedge funds and organizations.
Okay.
If you are built different, this is what I actually think is if you are built different and capable of beating the system, what's happening to you really? You're a quant at like a hedge fund and you're crafting the algorithm that like beats the game.
Yeah, that's
and
who
that's
you're playing
not
against.
most people.
That's who you're playing against. So yeah, it's actually a good transition. So I saw this article, the $1 Million Talent Wars for 20-something math geniuses. And it turns out there are a select few people who are, I'm not good at math, but there's people who are incredibly, incredibly good at math. And for the longest time, let's show this picture. Where do you think this is?
Well, he's wearing a shirt that says Harvard.
Okay.
So Harvard.
Is it Harvard?
It's not Harvard. I mean, narrow it down. Do you think this is a tech company in Silicon Valley, or do you think this is a financial company in New York?
Okay, let me look at the details. I'm going to say it's not a tech company because the type of snacks they have don't look like the type of like extremely hippie, way too expensive snacks they have at tech companies.
Damn, that's actually a really deep cut. You got it right. So
no, that is normal water. It's not
company.
Hint water.
Okay.
Hint water is tech company water.
For the longest time, these extremely intelligent math graduates, of which there's a very small percent, would mostly get headhunted by financial firms in New York, like this. This is Jane Street. And they would pay them really good salaries to be quants, like you said. That was their thing. And they would trade against retail traders and beat their ass. That's essentially what they're used for. But now, much like sticks of RAM, the price of these commodities is getting bid up by Sam Altman, okay?
Human beings.
Sam Altman and the AI companies have realized that quants are also exactly what they want for their, finish the blank.
Linear algebra.
For their linear
token
algebra token machines.
Yes.
And so what was already a pretty lucrative spot to be in, Wall Street quant, is now the spot to be in of all jobs. And basically, they are being bid up by both sides of the coasts of this country with absolutely astronomical salaries. And people are saying $1 million for someone right out of college is something people don't even bat an eye at anymore. They're getting, like $1.5 million with huge signing bonuses. They're getting insane amounts to either go to, again, like Jane Street or Citadel or OpenAI and Anthropic. And that's the bid up. And so people are saying the current hiring climate is like bidding wars for professional athletes. They're basically the Luka Doncic of fucking math, and they're getting life-changing money. I mean, and they're getting stock packages too that could literally change their life. So it's just a weird time. And I thought, this was interesting. And they interview these people, and a lot of them come in with ambitions to become an academic. They love math for the math of it. And then they do one internship where they get paid 30 racks a month, and they're like, I'm never. Once they have a taste of what it means to work for these firms, the majority of them would rather go into industry.
This is like, I apologize because I'm forgetting his name, but he's like fabled as one of the greatest modern mathematicians right now.
Terrence Tao?
Yes, Terrence Tao. And he works at UCLA, which publicly lists the salaries they pay.
Yeah.
And this is like, he's a prodigy. And I mean, not a prodigy anymore. He's well into his career, I guess.
He's a 40-year-old prodigy.
Yeah. And
You're shit talking Terrence Tao.
Not
You
to,
think you're better than him?
No.
You know more math?
He is at he
You think
is
you're
at,
wicked smart?
he's,
What's your numbers, huh?
he's
Aiden?
making like $760,000 a year working at UCLA, which
Okay.
is, pretty insane for a professor. But considering his stature,
Right.
and he's working at academia, like that is the ceiling of academia for his
to be
background.
a legend at a great university at the top of the top.
Yeah, and then these kids who are just finishing
Yeah.
college, not to say that they're not extremely intelligent, because
Sure.
but they're making more than that signing on to these companies
they're
out of
getting
college.
signing bonuses of his full salary.
And it's like,
That's
okay, ideally we'd want these people in like research and academia. And
yeah, that's It's just an odd, and you don't know if this will last or whatever, but right now has never been a better time to be a math nerd in college. So all of you pivot your majors right now.
Kind of hype.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
This,
I mean,
this
yeah.
is actually, I think it's great.
Yeah,
Of,
I'm not saying this is a
people
good or
who
bad
are
story,
really
it's
fucking good at
interesting.
math have more opportunities or are getting more money to go do
Yeah.
things. I think that is broadly a cool thing rather than just like, oh, go be an iBanker and otherwise you have no options. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think it's interesting.
Well, those are financial firms.
Mhm.
And we could slide on over to more of a tech firm, Flock. I've heard really only positive things about them lately.
Okay, all right.
So
And
I'm
we're gonna
surprised that
stack
you
your
have.
paste at the end. In our run of show, we had South Africa as our next story, and as you were saying that, I was like, South Africa is a tech
how is he doing
firm
tech
now?
firm
Like,
with
how
that?
are we getting to South Africa?
He's
did-
dodging his paste being squeezed.
I did fuck this up a little bit. I thought I saw the perfect segue to that topic, and then I forgot which
Okay,
one of
we're
ours
gonna
was
do this,
first.
and then we're gonna have 4 Aiden
We're
stories
gonna
in a
have
row.
4 Aiden
at
stories
the
in
end
a
of
row.
this.
We're gonna squeeze you so
You
hard.
know I'm a second half guy. I'm a
What's going on with Flock?
All right, let's go on Flock. All right,
Let's say what we think first, me and Aiden.
about Flock.
Yeah, I mean, I love
Let me
Flock.
set it up for you.
And I
There
know
are
you love Flock.
more than you.
More than me.
I was-
Actually, I don't even like that much when I think about it. I'm not even a big fan, but you
It's
are a huge
mostly
fan.
me?
Yeah. You've
Yeah.
been pulling me into it, but I kind of been backing away. And yeah.
And I pulled up that Ben Jordan video where he's like showing how easy it is to like hack Flock
And you were
cameras and
mad
like
about
spy
it.
on your
Yeah, you were
neighbors.
like-
and I was like, we should do this. We should spy on people.
All right, as of this month, there are now 120,000 Flock cameras in the United States. A Flock camera, if you are not aware, is traditionally it is a small camera that is all about license plate. It's often called ALPR, automatic license plate
An
reader.
Alper.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
an
is it
Alper.
120,000 or 102,000?
Okay, so there is 120,000 reported by Flock, but this is a map called DFlock, and there's 2 open source projects that are basically trying to track this. So you can go and like look in America because people have found these. So like if we go here to LA, right? You could actually look. Like, okay, so we'll go to Atrioc's home here.
Dude, there is-
So you can see Atrioc.
Oh, we'll go.
His house is like south of 4 of these cameras, right? But you can actually look and go, okay, if I were to drive to work, I could do a route that avoids them because they're all tracked publicly. And what I would say here is like, if you come from the south, there's no coverage at all. And if you were to then leave east, there is no ability for the police to track what you did.
Just please. Just the whole screen, blur it.
And
Don't
so-
even consider the idea. Don't even put it in Los Angeles.
No.
Also,
look,
you know what's
so that we
crazy?
don't
It's
have to
crazy
blur it. This
because
is not Atrioc's address.
Brandon leaves his home unlocked most of the time.
If you
He
were
does
in the
not have a ring
South,
camera.
No cameras.
But yeah, no, so you can actually look and see in any city in America, of the 120,000, there are about 100,000 that they have tracked and
this
added
looks like
to this
so many
database.
when you're looking at it. It just shocks me.
It is a lot. And so what's happened with Flock? Well, dude, there is so much. The short version of this is that as it has grown absolutely massively to cover so many different cities and states and jurisdictions, and there's like, it's not just police departments who want this stuff, who are the primary use case to be able to track criminals or stolen cars or whatever. An abduction happens, they can quickly find whoever did it. It's also like homeowners associations. It's like various groups or schools that want to be able to set these up and then say, we will be able to rapidly get information about like any license plate of any car that goes in our area. That's the business proposal. Yeah.
Can I ask? I don't understand because I'm not a Flock expert. What is the difference between Flock and like CCTV? Like if I was a homeowner association and I get a bunch of Flock cameras from my neighborhood, what is the difference between that and a regular camera? Is it just that AI tracks the license plate or what?
Yeah. So the core product is, it's kind of the camera, but really we've had license plate tracking technology for decades, right? You know, that's a thing that like police have had. The difference is that now it is a software company that is installing all these cameras where all of the data gets sent to a centralized database that can track it all against each other, right? So that's really the product. You are purchasing access to it, and this is where it gets controversial, to all or some subset of the data, and that way you can go to Flock and say, hey, I need information about this thing, and you pull it against all these different pieces of data that they have, right? So it's really the network that pulls all this information together. On top of they're the ones, you know, putting these cameras all over the place.
Interesting.
As you can imagine, a lot of people aren't stoked about this. And so according to LA Times, this past month, LAPD announced they are pausing their Flock contract after a 3-year contract with Flock, which Los Angeles has been using. That's done. And they are saying that their main concern is actually not really about mass surveillance. It's about data privacy. So there's 2 problems that people have with Flock primarily. One is the concept of mass surveillance. It's kind of creepy. We'll get into that. Second is the idea that if you're a little city or a big city like Los Angeles, you want these things for your local PD to, you know, help with crime or whatever. You don't want federal agencies to be able to track what everybody in Los Angeles has been doing. So in theory, when you sign up for Flock, you are signing up to have, you know, a certain area's information shared and tracked. But there have been many, many instances where Flock, even though they say they're not sharing, whoopsie daisy, a state department or a federal department does end up getting access to it.
Right.
So this keeps happening over and over. And sometimes it's they don't directly give access, but whoops, the people running LAPD, excuse me, like sent some of the data to this agency or gave them permission or said, hey, ICE, you can come in. And this is particularly becoming contentious because ICE has been shown now to access like both LAPD and San Francisco PD's database to find where people are, despite on paper this not supposed to be the case. And so this is, you know, this happened in LA, which is a pretty notable case. It's happening in actually a lot of cities now. So like Santa Cruz, El Cerrito, Santa Clara County, Mountain View, all California cities are all stopping their contracts or turning off Flock because of the data, like saying, hey, our data is, you know, going outside of our network. We are not okay with this. There's 53 cities last year that quit Flock. That's from Tech Times. But then at the same times, Tech Times reported that nearly 800 cities approved new Flock contracts in 2026 alone. So it's interesting that some major cities in California and other ones around the country are starting to say, no, we're not okay with this, using the data distribution as like the main thing. But it continues to just absolutely balloon all over the place.
What does the city get out of it? Let's say I'm a small town mayor and I have to spend a fuck ton of money to pay this software company to come set up cameras all over my city. What am I getting out of it?
Well, so the pitch is, and it's worth, look, I know everybody's going to fucking quote, do the Ben Franklin quote, okay? And they're going to post it in the comments and show how smart they are. And I get that, all right? But let's at least make an honest argument for why you would care about this. And actually, San Francisco is a good example. So they started pushing this a couple years ago. They've now installed about 400 cameras in San Francisco, and you can go look at it. And San Francisco had a major crime, let's say either perception or problem, depending on how you look at it, post-COVID. And certainly everybody I knew there was having cars broken into constantly, massive property. It was very, very bad from firsthand experience or my friend's experience, not from Twitter. Yeah. Oh, you seem like
no. That was I feel like by the last like couple years, more people I knew in San Francisco had their car broken into than hadn't.
Yeah,
like it.
They got insanely good at it. It was an insanely polished system of.
It was polished and just like wanton destruction. It was like they were just breaking everything, and like every friend I knew had it happen. It was like you couldn't park a car anywhere near any popular area because they
were and just shattered a window.
They would shatter it regardless of whether there was something in there. It was just to check. So it was horrific on top of all this property crime, whatever else. So crime really did get horrifically bad, according to many people I've spoken with in San Francisco. So then they do this big anti-crime push, and as part of that, Mayor London Breed at the time starts pushing for this program of we are going to install these cameras that will help us track criminals faster. These guys who are coming in, smashing a bunch of windows and driving off before we can get anything, like a police report hours later doesn't really help them. The person's already gone.
Right.
So They've been installing a massive amount of Flock cameras and their other tools like drones, and reported, this is from Flock, that in 2025, crime in San Francisco fell by 25% in a single year. Homicides are the lowest it's been. And Mayor Daniel Lurie has said that Flock's combined tech is, quote, a turning point for public safety in San Francisco. So both Flock and San Francisco, the PD, and the mayor are saying, thanks to these tools, we have massively reduced crime.
This was last year, right? I think 2025 Yeah, okay.
So
we've
because
talked
it kind
about
of
this before.
it kind
it's
of
just this big interesting question, right? Because in China, this is not par for the course. We walked around, there was a camera every damn 3 feet. They didn't even think about it. It wasn't even like it's just a question of, I really do think, hearing this story, I am the most concerned, similar to this, with data privacy, where it's the idea of whatever they're collecting being used for, or being just put into the model and trained and used on things way later for way different purposes.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought, because these things always seem to evolve and grow past what they say they're going to be used for.
Yep.
I think,
And actually, let me say this first, because I know this happened the last time I brought up Flock. We can't prove that Flock is the thing that caused crime to go down, right? It's
for sure.
one of many factors, maybe not even a factor at all, right? It's hard to know. They're obviously biased in this. And the second is, it turns out SF Standard and 404 Media reported that, whoops, the SFPD let out-of-state cops run, I think, millions of searches on their license plate database, including on behalf of ICE. And so now they're talking about, we're going to be stricter about it. But it does come back to this fundamental question. So San Francisco, you have a city where there was massive crime, where people were really, really upset about crime and were looking for a solution. And this is being attributed to one of the things that is allowing police to respond to things much faster. And there are real examples where you report that somebody broke into your house and drove away. You give a license plate to the cops, and they can within 10 minutes locate the person. That is cool to stop crime. That's also means that cops can track you in
power.
10 minutes, right?
It's
obviously
trust, right?
good. It's obviously horrible for privacy and tracking and government surveillance.
Yeah, you need to have faith in the institutions to effectively use the tool, not have third parties misuse it, and have respect for privacy. And I don't think there's any I cannot imagine, kind of across the board right now, there's that trust in government to use the data appropriately.
Confidence in U.S. institutions near all-time low. I think it is actually an all-time low. This is an older article. I think we're at an all-time low. So I just think people don't have the trust in this being used correctly right now.
It is
the same thing as if someone asked me in the government, they're like, "Hey, can we raise $10 billion in taxes to build, I don't know, a train or a bridge?" I'd be like, in theory, I very much love that, but I'm very worried that I can trust you to take this money and not build it. It could be 10 years later you haven't built it. Yeah. It's a lack of trust.
Yeah, it's weird to, when we were in China and you talk to somebody who's like, oh, it's great, crime is way down.
Yeah.
To be explicit here, I do not like this world where Flock cameras can allow companies to track what everybody is doing. I'm not a fan of this. But it's hard to go to somebody in San Francisco and be like, you're giving up your privacy. And they're like, yeah, but my car doesn't get broken into anymore. It's tough, I think, when there are people that feel it's greatly benefited them.
Yeah, I think that it's ultimately a personal question, right? I think about the China trip all the time, because bringing up the point of your privacy being lost and the onset consequences of having that information available or accessible by the government. And those people being like, hey, this doesn't matter to me, because the difference in crime between now and 10 or 20 years ago is night and day. And this level of enforcement through the surveillance state is what improved my life. And I wouldn't make that choice. I don't want that personally, but for certain people, they're willing to make that trade-off because of what it was like before. And I think, I think that's just what
thorny question. We talked about it. Yeah.
Support for this show comes from Anthropic.
Guys, I just got third place in a streamer Pokemon Invitational, and I want to tell you a quick little story about something I did for that. My coach was crunching the numbers on how much damage one Pokemon does to another Pokemon with its moves. And it's a pain in the ass. It took a lot of time. And he's a busy man with a family and a kid. And he's like, dude, I don't have time for this. Yeah, I want to help you for the tournament, but I have stuff to do. And I literally thought, okay, maybe I'll ask Claude. And I just asked, I put in my 6 Pokemon and their 6 Pokemon. And I said, hey, could you help me with a booklet? It made me an 80-page booklet with every possible thing. It got every number right. He checked some randomly. And I printed it out to the tournament and it helped me a lot. I didn't know it had that capability. It's getting crazy. I don't know how it calculated the damage of every possible move in the EVs and the IVs, but it's crazy.
So, for problems worth solving, get started with Claude at claude.ai/lemonade. That's claude.ai/lemonade. And check out Claude Pro, which includes access to all the features mentioned in today's episode. claude.ai/lemonade. We could talk about another crazy situation. Dude.
Don't transition out. This is an Aiden story next, guaranteed. What's crazy? Tell me about it.
What's your guys' next one again?
Okay, wait, hold on. The remaining between me and Atrioc, I think it's literally just AI insurance fraud, and then it's 4 Aiden stories. So if you can transition harder to my story than any of yours, we can do that one next.
Your last one is so tough from here. We might have to go to South Africa.
South Africa!
Travel with me.
Give me some paste, Aiden.
What's going on in South Africa?
Okay, so I saw this story crop up at the end of June, and basically a unique movement, at least from my perspective. We've talked a lot about on the show about how anti-immigrant sentiment has risen across the world. And I remember our Japan trip especially, because there was this rising criticism of immigrants within Japan. And admittedly, as an outside party, I thought this was kind of hilarious in like a very bird's eye view, because Japan is almost as homogenous as it gets. There's just not a lot of immigrants in Japan, period. The number of immigrants there has increased over the last few decades. But ultimately, this is a country that is pretty much all Japanese people.
Yeah.
So to see the pattern of country encounters economic problems, blame immigrants, happen in a country like Japan, it was almost so absurd. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Because not that...
And you can win an election on it, which is great. You can win an election even there.
Yeah.
It's a golden standard.
So that apparently like this like political strategy is like you can apply it at any time. And I think people have an understanding of parties around the world right now, in Western countries especially, pushing back, right-wing parties pushing back against immigration. And I saw this story in June about South Africa, where a similar sort of thing is happening. So I imagine you guys understand this to some extent, but South Africa has not been doing particularly well. In like the early, like to late 2000s, there was kind of this surge in South Africa changing and the post-apartheid era, and it looked like it was in that kind of developing to developed country sort of stage. It was going to become one of the next like big countries on the world stage. But as time has passed, that hasn't really come to fruition. South Africa is maybe the most unequal country in the world. An enormous disparity between the richest people and the poorest people in the country. Incredible levels of government corruption, incredible levels of unemployment. I had sort of a jokey story earlier in the year about how South African unemployment had fallen from, I think, like 38% to 35%.
Oh, beast, they did it.
But this is, when we talk about unemployment in like the US, for example, we're looking at an unemployment rate of like 4. Or if things got to 10, that would be really, really bad. And this is a country with over 30% unemployment and has had that for quite some time.
It is funny you mentioned them like in their rising phase, because I remember thinking when they first made BRICS, it was like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and then South Africa felt like I was like, are they really like one of the...
We're in there.
Yeah, but they were in there. They were like you said, they were like this rising economic star of Asia.
And they had the World Cup.
Africa, I'm sorry, Africa.
They had the World Cup, and I think there was a lot of spotlight on the country to succeed. Now we're in a position where the country has been doing quite poorly for quite some time. And there are huge populations of immigrants within South Africa. A lot of people from other countries in Africa that have immigrated there over the last few decades. People from Nigeria, people from Malawi, people from the Congo, looking for opportunity in South Africa, which is relatively better than like the area of the country that they might be coming from. And in recent years, there has been a huge rise in anti-immigrant sentiment among the like poor populations of South Africa in these like areas or like slums in South Africa, basically taking issue or accusing foreign-born individuals of you came here illegally, you're trafficking drugs, you're at the root of the crime, you're at the root of the unemployment, you are stretching social services and education in ways that make it worse for us South Africans to live here. And there has been a rise in basically vigilante groups. Really, like some community leader will start gathering like support in people and advocating for the exit of these immigrants and have begun pressuring people to leave the country if they are foreign born because they are at the root of these problems they are accusing of. And
pressuring them like how?
They are threatening like threatening them with violence or earlier in the year, they had set a deadline of like, you need to leave the country by June 30th, or we are going to come raid homes and businesses as groups and physically remove you.
That also sounds like violence.
Through the threat of violence.
Or that.
Yeah. I think, to be clear, prior to this deadline, it had been more like community demonstrations. Maybe there had been like smaller one-off incidences of attacks or intimidation.
Yeah, casual racism on Xbox 360.
But the big thing that was happening is there was this issuance from a variety of groups that if you are not leaving the country by June 30th, then we are going to show violence in order to remove you from then. Naturally, a lot of people within the country are very fearful of their position because of these threats.
Right.
And the government, because of the overall state that it is in, it is not necessarily endorsing any sort of like policy or backing these groups, but they are often like standing by or not really enforcing or policing the way these groups are interacting or threatening immigrants. They are in some cases, but largely the government is very out of touch with how these communities are like being threatened. And these vigilante groups have been able to posture these threats without facing many consequences for it. So in the build up to this deadline, I thought it was crazy. Like it's giving examples of like this Ethiopian store owner and his brother have lived there for 11 years. And they're interviewing some of the people that come to a store, some of his friends, and they're like, we can't do anything. Like they're going to come with guns and they're going to, and I don't want my friend to have to leave, but I think he should leave for his own safety. And in the build up to these threats, tens of thousands of people start to leave the country, even if they have the papers or documents. So the thing about this like vigilante sort of system, not to say that it would be justifiable to like,
well, they're not checking their boxes,
kill somebody that doesn't have papers, is nobody, like the vigilante group isn't like kicking down the door of the shop and saying like, show me your visa. They're kicking out people based off of their foreign-born status, or even if they like people who have been born in South Africa but are parents of those immigrants. And so naturally, a lot of people fled in like fear of this happening. And as more and more people have begun to leave at the same time, these massive like camps have begun to form at like certain borders or in certain cities where multiple, like tens of thousands of people are congregating in camps, waiting to be like repatriated back to their country, their original country, in order to just stay safe. So it gave, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but now the South African economy is thriving, right? And everything's great. I've been told this works. You violently
it's crazy.
attack people who are different.
It's not violent. They picked the other option.
They picked the other option, sorry.
No,
one of the two.
There was no...
And now South Africa is thriving and everyone is happy and everyone has a job.
It wasn't violent. There was the threat of violence.
The threat of violence. But they had to do it because this was the problem.
And believe it or not, in July, the country 180'd. No, I think the thing that gets noted over and over again is when like experts weigh in on the topic. Like I was reading some articles from like a South African newspaper where like people are writing like in South African like academia, like weighing in on this issue. Yeah. It's like, these are people who are engaging with very real problems in their country. Social services do suck. The country's is incredibly corrupt. There is a lack of opportunity for people. But ultimately, the same story is playing out here where they are scapegoating a population that has very little to do with the material challenges that the country is facing right now. But, and look, I don't live in South Africa, so it'd be crazy for me to just like go up to a population.
You're a podcaster.
I'm a fucking...
Say your piece.
But I read through I think it was like YouTube video comment sections of like an Al Jazeera piece and like a DW piece, which are very much taking the angle that I would say I'm taking right now, which is that immigrants are probably being unfairly blamed for problems that they probably have very little to do with.
Right.
And the argument from the South Africans in those comments it is basically we are like stepping in where our government refuses to step in. We see that there's like a lack of like control at like the border, a lack of like oversight over immigration, and we are like taking our country back and in like enforcing the laws in the capacity that they should be enforced. That's the way these vigilante groups see it.
Listen, I don't know enough. I literally don't know enough. I'd have to learn more about it. I do know, or at least history has shown, that on economic problems specifically, this type of action it was not going to change. It's not going to suddenly make the unemployment rate fix. And that never happens.
And I think there's a kind of a sad story is in basically the last few months, like over 50,000 people had like left prior to that deadline. And then tens of thousands more have like gone into these like these temporary, like basically temporary refugee camps before like transport comes to like bring them back to their country of origin. And it sounds like the government has stepped in there to like manage those. So there's like this tacit approval from the government about like all of this happening while not being the initial vehicle for it happening in the first place. I just thought this was an insane story because the scale at which it's happening, it's like, one camp has like 20,000 people from Malawi that have, many of which have like lived in the country for years and years and years, just have to leave their home or separate from their family because of these like movements going on right now.
That is a truly insane and dark story coming out of South Africa. And it reminds me so much of another story about Bud Light sales by the exact same person, Aiden.
I can't do
transition.
Okay. You know what? I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I reap what I sow. I fucked around with the run of show.
Yeah,
and now I have to talk. And now after talking about families in South Africa being split up by vigilante groups.
That's right.
I now have to talk about how Bud Light isn't the best selling light beer in America anymore. Yeah. Was it a mistake to put them both on the sheet?
No.
Maybe.
We can do this. We can transition it.
Okay. Yeah.
So is there a lot of humanitarian aid that the U.S. is sending to South Africa?
No, Doug, we're selling all the leftover Bud Light that isn't fucking selling.
Okay.
Whoa, that's interesting. Tell me about that.
You're saying it's not selling?
It's not selling?
What's happening?
What's going on with Bud Light?
Okay. This is a small story that I saw that I thought was kind of funny, which is that Bud Light has officially been surpassed as America's top selling light beer.
Wait, let's guess. Who beat it? Who do you think?
Who's taking the crown,
who's the
boys?
number one light beer?
It's gonna be somebody.
I'm gonna guess.
No seltzers, right? We're talking light beer.
Light beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess Corona.
Heineken.
Nope.
Miller
Michelob Ultra.
Oh!
Hot dog.
Maybe I'm just out of the game, but I don't feel like I've ever in my entire life heard someone say, "Hey, grab me a Michelob Ultra." I just like.
Well, the interesting thing about this, AB InBev, which is the overall holding company for not only Bud Light and a ton of other beer brands, including Michelob Ultra, including Budweiser, which had the crown in the past. This holding company just owns all these beers.
They're all beer in the world almost. They have like a third of all beer consumed. Yeah, it's insane.
It is funny because when I clicked on this article, I kind of I think in a passive way, I knew that these companies weren't directly competing with each other, but it was like, I opened the article and I was like, wait, this company just owns all these things. Yeah. It's like, this is a fake battle. Yeah. And
wait, I remember this because there was the big Kid Rock, like cancel Bud Light, like shooting the cans thing. Yeah. And then it was like, Bud Light got dethroned because they got dethroned back then too. Yeah. And it was a different AB InBev company. So they just moved the dollars from a different. all the consumers were buying the same company's beer from a different brand.
So what's kind of interesting is there's a huge fall off of light beer sales. Like if you, in general, like if you look at Bud Light, Budweiser and Michelob over time, and you look at where all of these brands stand for this year compared to previous years, there's just this gigantic trend of like light beer consumption in America falling off.
Wait, I have the chart that he's looking at. It's so funny because it looks like a Ray Dalio rise and fall of empire chart.
Yeah.
It looks like Great Britain, America, China. And it's like
so
the era of Bud Light peaked in 2010.
Yeah, Michelob Ultra is now the king, which is a fraction of the light beer sales in 1990.
Yeah, damn, we used to
Great
drink.
job.
And the story that is kind of told here is that in 2023, Bud Light did that ad campaign that they got a lot of flack before, where they worked with a trans influencer, and she was like drinking Bud Light on her Instagram story or in an Instagram post.
Instagram post, yeah.
And immediately there was this huge like right wing pushback, and supposedly Bud Light sales did fall, and I'm not denying that they did, but as I dug into this article, there was a couple interesting things that I saw, which is that these brands were all on a huge fall off already. This entire category of drinking has been declining. And also AB InBev dropped the marketing spend for Bud Light in recent years. They just cut the marketing budget huge. So they weren't spending as much as they used to. Whereas with Michelob, they just started spending a bunch more money on that brand. So it's like Michelob was the beer of the World Cup.
Right.
At least, was it just in the US or is it the whole World Cup no matter what?
I don't know.
And they've increased the marketing spend on that brand a ton. And then also what's kind of funny is if you look at their, there was, the claim of like losses around that time because of the backlash to that ad campaign, which, I won't deny that like the backlash in America existed, but they are now if you check the market cap of AB InBev compared to what it was during that time to now, the company is now worth $38 billion more by market cap, even with the decline in sales of Bud Light and these drinks.
We won.
And so the new, it's like the mountaintop is lower than ever, but Michelob's the new king. And all of the competitors are just owned by the same guys.
Yeah, no joke.
Which...
it is funny, look, based on this chart, like Bud Light has been in free fall since 2010. It's not no individual thing stands out on this chart other than the fact that people have just been drinking less of it every year since 2010.
No way that look, hey, I'm happy to be wrong here. There's no way that there's gonna be a big resurgence of light American beer. I just feel like that.
You never know.
Did you see? I don't have the like statistic in front of me, but like very recently it was announced that Americans are now doing cannabis more than any other substance.
Yeah.
Zoomers especially. Zoomers don't drink and they smoke weed way more.
I think alcohol's as an entire industry is kind of in a rough spot compared to its historical position, right? Like people aren't going out in the same way. I also think like the public rhetoric, especially in the US around drinking, has just completely changed. Like I feel like it's way more mainstream to be like completely sober, to talk about the negative consequences of alcohol on your body and just be like, nah, that shit's poison, man. And like have that be the...
Dude, I heard, like back in the day, since I'm a freaking unk, you would talk about going out and dating at like bars and clubs and like that would be the party area.
Yeah.
And it says everybody's using run clubs now. Like younger Zoomers don't go to bars. Bars are not a thing. And like the nightclubs is way less of a thing. Many nightclubs are closing. People are now doing like fitness clubs and run. That's how they meet members of the opposite sex. It's just interesting.
They're lame. They became lame.
They gotta drink more, dude. That's the coolest thing to
and
do.
Be unhealthy.
If
like
you're
us.
not crushing Bud Light,
Like
you're
us.
not cool.
You want to be like us? Come on.
We're cool.
Are you Gen Z? Get a Bud Light. Get
a
back out
Bud
there.
Light.
Get it back out there and pipe.
This is their marketing strategy. They pay us for this ad.
You might take a sip and go, this Bud Light tastes like shit. And then think, surely Michelob Ultra is better because it's doing better.
Yeah.
And you'll take a sip and you'll be surprised as well.
That's exactly the
but
same.
it's cool. We told these guys you were cool, all right? Drink more Michelob or whatever.
You know what's cooler than Bud Light?
What's cooler than Bud Light?
Is it
right?
Trump's IRS immunity?
No, it's AI insurance fraud.
I don't know. I think let's try a couple transitions.
Okay. You know what's cooler than Bud Light?
You know what's very cold?
You know what's very cold? The Nordics! Nordic country, Nordic Fun Fact.
We want Nordic Fun Fact.
Nordic Fun.
You're
Come
making
on,
me do
Aiden.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Aiden, not only are you doing 3 in a row.
We can squeeze it
but
on
I'm
insurance
telling you
fraud.
right
Nobody wants to
now,
hear about insurance fraud. That's boring,
if
bro.
this is not
Wanna hear
the
about beer
fucking
in Sweden.
sickest Nordic Fun Fact, I'm going to be pissed. You promised us a full toothpaste of squeeze, and this Nordic Fun Fact, bring the fucking heat. Shake your body. Here it is. Okay.
Okay. Well, I have a question for you both. Do you
Okay.
like war?
I'm going to be brave.
I like
I'm gonna be brave for a
Ultra. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Cut that.
Well, you're not.
Cut that.
You
right.
might not like this one then.
Wait. There's no way.
Wait, did
it's
they
a
come
Nordic
out
Fun
and
fact
they
and it's
denounce war or something?
Is
Is
this
this-
one of those Nordic Fun Facts where he's like, hey, in the Ukraine.
yeah, in the Ukraine, Mark Carney said that war is bad.
How quickly can I pivot this to Ukraine? No, this is
Okay.
about Denmark. And
Okay.
I promise you, Nordic Fun Fact listeners, I will give Finland a bit of love very soon. Don't you worry. I will. But
Like,
we're going.
there's a clamoring for Finland-specific Nordic Fun Facts.
There is.
It's so important.
Sound
Okay,
off in the comments if you're ready for a Finnish Nordic Fun Fact. I know you've been dying for it. Okay. There's interesting changes. The Danes are changing some of the rules around conscription.
Oh.
So in 2024, something that they changed was that not just men are
Sending women to
eligible
war?
for conscription.
Sending women to war?
It's applies to women as well. And that was a change they made back then.
Aren't Danish women like average 6 feet tall or something? They're warriors.
You're
That
thinking.
is-
You're thinking.
Good point.
I think you're thinking of Dutch, but
I'm not the Nordic Fun Fact guy, dude. I don't have any facts.
Netherlands is not Nordic. It sounds like it is.
Yeah. It's just like, it's in the club, bro. It's adjacent.
The big change they just made is that service that you were put into when you were conscripted before was a 4-month period, unless you chose to stay longer. And they have just recently expanded that time to 11 months. So everyone that is conscripted has a longer base amount of service that they have to do.
Required. Mandatory.
I think this is required in Denmark.
Can I bone spurs it? How do I get out? How do I, if I'm Danish?
I think there's ways out of it. I think Danish people weigh in on this but my understanding is that it is required, but there's a lot of ways for you to get around the service. And this expansion to both including women and this raising of a change to 11 months is especially in reaction to the threats to Greenland, the invasion of Ukraine, just this dynamic of conflict like changing in Europe where they feel threatened and want to prepare in a way that they haven't in the past. And there is like a decent amount of feedback even from young people in the country about this, where that 4 months is just like a very short period of time to like be able to really learn anything. And like,
Semester abroad.
yeah. And this 11 month period gives you a lot more time to like learn things while you are in the military. The expectations of this program is by 2033, they're hoping to raise the annual number of conscripts that they have from 5,000 to 7,500 to increase the size of the military.
That's good. I'm looking it up right now to see how you can get out of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I was a Denmark citizen, Dane, and I wanted to get out of conscription. It is saying that they have a certain number of slots they want to fill, and most of the time, all those slots are filled by volunteers. And if that happens, nobody gets called, no matter what lot you draw in the fucking conscription. It doesn't matter. You can opt out.
But if you drop below like a certain percentage, you get margin called. You got to go in.
You get margin called.
Yeah.
And
You gotta
they
show them your
start taking the
toothpaste.
lottery numbers. So if they're increasing the number of slots, the volunteers have to also go up. Otherwise, you start actually.
Otherwise,
getting,
you have to actually
okay,
pull
interesting.
people. Yeah.
Interesting.
And a lot of these initial people being pulled in are, one of the places they're getting sent to is Greenland for like initial like training or like stationing. But the military wants to increase the recruitment to 13,000 people per year overall. So the expectation is about like half of that is going to be coming from conscription.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
That is a lot of people to suddenly start.
It's also saying
conscripting.
that people
And-
were fine to volunteer when it was 4 months, but they're way less likely to volunteer now that it's at 11 months.
Yeah.
So the number of volunteers is actually dropping. So
I think that I assume, I would guess as a young person, the positive feedback about being able to learn more within that time period is the minority of people.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, something that's like $19.99 as a price feels a lot less than, or whatever, like $6 feels way less than $9, even though it's not like 4 months just feels like, it's kind of like
you can do whatever. That's fine.
A long vacation. You could do that.
I could fight in Greenland against Trump for 4 months.
Yeah.
But I think,
11 feels long.
The idea on Denmark's part is not necessarily to have this like massive standing army, but to have this larger portion of the population that is available to be called upon if a conflict were to actually happen. You have a bunch of people that have gone through like 11 minutes, 11 minutes.
11 minutes, I'd volunteer for that.
I'd go. 11 months of training in whatever capacity so that if a conflict were to break out that involves Denmark, you're able to access like a larger portion of the population that has been trained in some capacity. If you're from Denmark, very curious what you have to say about this. I'm sure your experience in the Danish news about this is quite different, but this is just what I had seen.
If they're from Denmark, they get this news from you.
Some of them do.
I know.
Which is, if you're Danish and you're getting it from me, please get it somewhere else.
No, use the Nordic Fun Fact. I've seen so many comments because I'm a Nordic citizen and I get my news from
I pulled
Aiden's.
up our YouTube demographics right here. So look, after the United States, Canada, UK, Germany, Australia, you know what the next ones are? In order of most people: Sweden, Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, Finland.
Wait, really?
Which are collectively about 5% of our audience.
That's great. That's definitely because of Nordic Fun
Fact. Sweden is like the biggest chunk of that. It's like 2%.
Yeah.
And I had to send all of our viewership data across all of our accounts for Swedish viewers for my immigration application.
Hey, that's great. So it's good that we're collecting them like Pokemon.
We literally are 2% Swedish.
I'm not even kidding. If you're Swedish watching this show, you had a hand in me getting accepted into your country.
Quit watching.
No, I need you to keep watching. I need you to keep watching. In fact, if you're American, change your VPN.
It's 98% Swedish.
And don't do that
and send that clip to the immigration lawyer right now.
Because I wouldn't want you to do that because that would be fraud.
Immigration.
That would be fraud.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Transition.
Are we talking about AI insurance fraud or about Trump not being eligible for fraud claims because of the IRS immunity?
That's also fraud.
That's also fraud. Which one did you mean?
Counter transition.
Which one do you think? I'm an AI insurance fraud. I meant your story.
Oh, okay.
All right, Doug.
Boring. All right.
AI insurance fraud. What's that? Oh, wait a minute. Can I guess what this is? I have literally no stories. But I'm already thinking of how I would defraud an insurance company with AI.
Yeah,
you could break your car or pretend to break your car, right? You could just like send a photo. They ask for a photo.
Hey, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, deliver the story.
Cut it out.
No, I mean it.
That was legitimately, I'm literally just guessing.
I'm not giving you shit. So this is what is happening. And I think everybody is aware of AI scams that are like, somebody calls you and it's a fake voice or whatever. People are hearing about that. But Simon, one of our lovely viewers who works at a German insurance company and is like involved with a lot of this stuff, who we've chatted with actually a couple times now, is saying something I didn't even think about this being the case, which is, hey, you know how when like you get in a car accident or you break your glasses or house or something, and then you send photo or video evidence to an insurance company to tell them that something did break and they owe you money? Well, it turns out AI is really, really good at this. And so Simon was saying, actually, I sent you, if you scroll down, Perry, on this, there's these examples. Keep going, you'll see it. Here. So where people can just, you take a real photo of your car and you could put yourself in a car accident, sure, but you could also make the damages look worse. You could, remove bystanders or do whatever else. So I thought it'd be fun if we do a little game show and see if you guys can tell Perry if you pull this up.
We have to be auditors?
What's the difference? And so I edited a couple different photos.
Why'd you delay this? I should put it at the beginning of the show.
Okay. So the question is, I'm going to have a photo that you might send to an insurance claim.
Okay.
And I'm going to make a difference. And we're going to see if you can tell what I did and if you'll be able to see if it's fake.
Okay.
So here's the first one. Car accident.
This looks bad.
It looks bad. There's like a bystander in the back.
Well, okay.
Wait, what
are
is
you noticing
that?
what I'm noticing? Wait,
Yeah.
Does it feel like there's a bumper, but...
Why is it stuck to the...
This is the original.
No, but isn't
This is the original. This is real.
This is real? Yeah.
Okay.
And then see if you can notice the change. And
I was so excited for this segment. You really had me all hyped up. I was so excited.
and that's the end of the
Doug,
presentation.
I think it.
Doug, I was so
if I had to point out the difference, could you go back? Actually, I want to make sure.
Pull it back up.
No, don't go back.
I think it's
Don't
like
wanna
you've
look at
taken most of the car from the first image and you've put it over 3 men having sex with each other.
Yeah, and so basically, this is an example of what
So you
people are
think they're
doing.
getting this?
Yeah.
The insurance
And you
analysts
can
are
go ahead
getting
and
a
pull
lot of
this
this.
down, Perry. So you guys kind
Yeah.
of get the idea. So Simon was telling me all about how this has become a major new problem that insurance
He wasn't-
companies.
No, that's not what he
Well,
was
not
telling
that
me.
specifically. That was my.
No, but I think that was
I
your
tried to create an
interpretation.
example for you
kinda-
guys.
Yeah.
I just feel like it
Appreciate
works
that.
better if you see it. So why is this stuff so hard if you're an insurance company? Well, the problem
Imagine.
is that, like, I don't know if you guys could tell. I didn't even use AI there. It was Photoshop.
Yeah.
But you can use these AI models to create images and videos and change images. And every single model now can, like, do it in different ways.
You did that with AI?
No, that actually.
Just pure Photoshop.
yeah,
That's
it's
what-
crazy.
So are these all AI?
Okay, so these are examples where somebody is using AI to modify photos.
Audio listeners, for the segment that you just didn't see, be happy you didn't see it.
Yeah.
And for the segment we're looking at now, we're looking at AI photos of car crashes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
guess they're real car crashes, but they've altered them to make the damages
Right,
worse.
so
or-
there's multiple options here. So
This is fun because it reminds me of, like, you know how they'll give you a free water cup at a restaurant to go get, but you can't get the soda. You're not allowed to get the soda. But it's less people cheat and they take the water cup
Yeah.
and they get Sprite. And if enough people do that, they just don't give the free water cup anymore and they change
Yeah.
it. It's like, this is actually a pretty convenient tool where I can send a photo and get an instant
Yeah.
insurance thing. But they're going to get rid of it now because everybody is going to defraud it with these AI tools. And now it's going to be a huge, it's already a pain in the ass. It's going to be such a pain in the ass.
yeah.
I'm in real time, I'm very frustrated with this. This is very annoying.
Yeah, I don't think, any of us are stoked about the average insurance company, but if you're in their shoes and you just genuinely want to make sure, hey, there isn't like an insane amount of fraud, it's getting incredibly hard. And it's not, so this is what Simon was giving some internal details about. It's not just, oh, these AI images are really good, because what's the obvious way that you counteract it? Well, you train an AI that can detect whether it's AI. But then if every new image model that comes out from all the different companies with all the different variations all have their own way to sort of hide it and do a spin, you have to train a model on every single one of those, and somebody finds a new way of slightly altering, whether it's a
Also-
model or whatever, it instantly goes undetected now.
If you get a false positive and someone takes a normal photo of their car wreck and you go, that's AI, you're open up to a pretty big fucking lawsuit.
Yes.
They'll shoot the shit out of you because, I mean, that you claimed it was
now
AI.
people are going to be
deny
like,
their insurance.
you're going to get harassed even more by the insurance company. I mean, hopefully not, obviously, but like now they're having to be far more careful. Aviva Insurance, the UK company, said that in 2025, the fake insurance claims that they had were worth more than £230 million. There was over 18,000 suspect claims, as in like these are fake claims that people are sending in to try to scam them, and that it's a record level. Like this is skyrocketing. And even Simon was like, do we have like exact numbers from a lot of different companies? And he's like, they don't want to share numbers because this is what they're aware of what's happening. The amount of undetected cases that they don't even know about could be absolutely massive. And apparently a lot of the things that people are catching are because they're using the same photos to do scams multiple times. So this photo, you can pull this up, Perry. This is a real photo. Don't worry. This is glasses. And apparently on German.
Imagine if he did it again.
That would be wild. Now see, look at the reflection in the glasses. So this is if you Google German glasses, this is like the first image. So apparently this image has been used just for him dozens of times for people trying to scam them for free glasses from insurance claims. But these are famous glasses from Jurgen Klopp, who's the national soccer team coach.
People are so fucking lazy.
And so... And the point of this is not
The
only is
first
it
result
very
for German.
stupid to Google broken glasses and use the first result. Apparently these glasses are so famous they're in a museum. Not only is that stupid, the fact that there's this much fraud being detected right now, and a lot of the reason it's detected is because people keep trying to do it repeatedly with the same images is crazy. And so
that's like insurance claiming my broken bell and you Liberty Bell.
and you
picture.
say, Liberty.
It got a big crack in it. I need
I needed to be fixed.
And you can do it with images. And there's a whole weird thing where now insurance companies are having to figure out, we can't send a real person to go check every single claim. So then you're trying to figure out which claims to go for. And there's companies that I looked at, like Verisk, that are trying to sell products that are like, we're going to figure this out. We have your customers only take photos with our app, and then we'll check all of these things. And it's like, dude, maybe that's where it has to go, but holy shit.
But I'm going to print out a picture of the German glasses, and I take the app, and then I'm going to take a photo zoomed in on it.
Right. So this is I hadn't thought of AI scams in insurance. What a crazy,
this is a crazy story.
World. And it's like, this is one where it doesn't feel like people are benefiting. Like nobody, I guess some fraudsters, but just broadly, this is just going to suck.
Do you think they'd be able to detect Doug's image? I mean, it's not AI. You have to give him that.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd give you a refund on your 3 gay men having sex, but...
Well, no, it's the car. The car is the part I want the refund on.
The car happens to be there.
It'd be funny if they get it mixed up and send you the wrong refund.
They send me 3 new gay old men.
Those men are too old. They're too old to love each
other. What an auspicious note to end our episode on. Gentlemen, we learned a lot about the markets today. We learned a lot about ourselves.
Did it?
And you could learn even more in our hour bonus Patreon that we're going to record.
We're calling it 10 hours of Aiden. Only Aiden stories.
Yep, it's going to be all the Aiden stories that he's fit to be squozing from.
Come squoze me.
If not, we'll be back next week with another covering of the news here on Lemonade Stand. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Squoze me.
Bye, buddy.
On the Patreon.